Bishop Sherman, D.Manning, thank you for joining me today. Our distinguished guest today is David Meltzer. David Meltzer. He is the chairman of the Napoleon Hill Institute. And when I heard that, I knew I had to have him on. I digress. As a 12-year-old boy, I started reading books by Napoleon Hill, including the famous Think and Grow Rich. If you haven't read it, you should read it. Shameless plug. And he's also formerly served as CEO of the renowned sports and entertainment agency inspired by the movie Jerry Maguire. A powerhouse entrepreneur, investor, and top business coach, David has been recognized by Variety magazine as Sports Humanitarian of the Year. And he has been awarded the Ellis Island Medal of Honor. He is also a 3-time international best-selling author and the executive producer of Entrepreneur's #1 digital business show, Elevator Pitch. Get ready for a great interview with a great man. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember that I pastor Yes We Can Worship Center, and in that capacity, we have joined forces with one of the most respected architects in the world, Norberto Nardi, and together we are building a tiny homes project for the homeless. And I shouldn't say a, because we plan to do it all over the city, and we need your help. Go to thetinyhomesproject.com. Take a look at the work that we're doing. One tiny home can be built for $25,000. We're going to build 15 of them in the beginning. Each one will house 2 people. This is transformational housing, unlike anything you've ever seen in the city before. We will be changing the lives of people. If you would like to sponsor a tiny home, partially sponsor one, any donation is tax deductible. Please go to yeswecanworshipcenter.org and click donate now for thetinyhomesproject.com. Now, let's get ready for David Meltzer. Mr. Meltzer, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me, and super excited to be here. We've had a few divine detours before I got here, but it's certainly worth it, and I cannot wait to pour into the community and hopefully elevate, inspire, and educate, and have a lot of fun while we're doing it. So thanks for having me.
So normally I will begin these interviews by asking you to tell me who you are. David, can you tell me who Karen is, please?
Yeah, Karen's my hero. It's my mom who was the divine detour of why we had to postpone this great interview. She passed and has had such a great impact. It's interesting because I've been blessed to step on so many stages and so many different shows that I do. And I always have, while she's alive, honored her and acknowledged her for being such an extraordinary mom, raising 6 kids as a single mom, working 2 jobs, one as a 2nd grade teacher, packing our dinner in a paper bag just to fill up turnstiles at convenience stores with greeting cards just so we could eat. My siblings, as you know, are exceptional human beings, and they're all passionate, purposeful, and profitable people giving back to their communities in all different types of ways. And now that my mom has passed on, transitioned on, it's taken even an exponential impact on me and motivated and inspired me to carry on the values that she taught me. Every day I take stock in who I was and what I want to become by utilizing the gratitude that she taught me, the forgiveness in my heart, the accountability to give me control with faith. And that faith has been based off of my mom, to be honest. And my faith is based off of a simple philosophy. There's something bigger than me that loves me, protects me, promotes me, and perfects me more than my mom. And that's real faith to me.
Absolutely. I would be, I'm not a mushy guy, nor am I a sad guy. I try to always keep a positive mental attitude. And most times when I reflect on my mother, Dolly Mae Manning, it comes with a smile. But I will admit to you that 10 years after her passing, sometimes I still cry about it. So I just wanted to begin the interview by offering our condolences to you, because it's only been a week or two. And I know that she was a great inspiration in your life and in the lives of your siblings. And I wanted to begin the interview by mentioning her. Shifting gears, tell me who David Meltzer is.
I am happy, healthy, wealthy, and worthy. I just try to figure out what I'm doing to interfere with it. I'm on a mission to empower over 1 billion people to be happy, defined by my skills, my knowledge, and my desire. I am someone who can empower people to live in abundance, to not only seek the wisdom of other people that can help us get to where we want to be or better, but to have the faith when no evidence, when evidence is contrary to where we think we want to be or better, to still take the steps necessary each and every day to enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of my own potential, not what other people want for me, not what's missing, not what I don't have, but what I want in my divine direction, allowing things like the passing of my mom to be divine detours by finding the light, the love, and the lessons in it, forgiving myself for all the transgressions that I may have had upon and in front of my mom, and then to take accountability by learning and being better and living that life of faith and wisdom to shorten that distance of resistance that so many human beings and their experiences put in their lives. And I am someone that lives with wisdom and faith, and I am all that I want to become. I just got to figure out what I'm doing to interfere with it.
I think I bring this up because I think it can be a teachable moment. I read something about you bought a truck for your brother, and then he was going somewhere and didn't invite you, and you got a little upset with him, and your mom intervened. Can you tell that story?
Yeah, it's really a story that illustrates one of the interferences that is energetic and genetic in my own being, which is a need to be offended. And it's a great lesson because I was born into a need to be offended. And the problem, if you have a need to be offended, you're always going to be offended. You just walk out the door, there's something that's going to offend you. So I buy my brother a truck, and in my own mind, I find out that he's going to the Padre game with my other brother.
Okay.
And so I called my mom. I didn't talk to my brother for 3 weeks, and my mom called me and intervened and said, "Why haven't you talked to your brother?" And I said, "Well, to be honest, I bought him the truck, and took my other brother to the baseball game, never invited me."
Okay.
And she's like, "That's why you
Okay.
didn't call your brother? That's what this is all about?" I'm like, "Sure." I can't believe you would do that to me. And she said, "David, I was standing there. Someone offered him 2 tickets, and your brother was sitting right next to him. It was a non-thought. It was a moment where he's like, 'Of course, you want to come with me?'" And they decided it wasn't some strategic evil plan to offend you and show disrespect or de-appreciate the fact that you are there for him to help him. And I find myself so many times in my life reminding myself that my mom tells me that need to be offended is going to interfere with your higher self. And you should look for the clues and the patterns of when you're offended. And instead of resisting it, going over it, under it, through it, around it, lying to it, manipulating it, and cheating it, just stop, breathe, remind yourself, recollect yourself, remember yourself with God, and walk in that divine direction.
Wow. I've got a lot of territory I want to cover in the short time that you have available, but I got to go here first. As a kid, 12 years old, I started reading books by the great Napoleon Hill. So when I saw where you are or have been affiliated with the Napoleon Hill Foundation, I have to ask you about that. The Think and Grow Rich man himself. Tell me what you do or did with the Napoleon Hill Foundation.
Well, I've done a lot with them, but I'm now the chairman of the Napoleon Hill Institute. And so I'm blessed to create a legacy, not just for me, but for every person who believes and achieves. And if anyone's read Think and Grow Rich, they know it is the seminal personal development work based off of the wisdom and faith of Napoleon Hill and the lessons that he's learned from the people who sat in a situation that he wanted to be in, from the Carnegies to the Rockefellers to the Fords of the world, sitting down and learning from the dummy tax that each of these incredible individuals have learned. And I'm blessed to be in Think and Grow Rich, the legacy, the book, Think and Grow Rich, the legacy, the movie, and now to be the chairman of Napoleon Hill Institute. And all around the world, MENA, Asia, all around the world, educating and empowering people with not only Think and Grow Rich, but outwitting the devil, how to sell through lives, the 17 principles of success, all of these amazing pieces of content that have weathered almost 100 years and they still are more relevant and resonate more today than they did almost 100 years ago. So anyone out there would like to join our efforts, if you've been empowered or inspired by Napoleon Hill, join us at the Napoleon Hill Institute. We'd love to have you be a part of it.
Wow. I'll tell you, that book is timeless. I went back and reread it actually a few weeks ago. You talk about divine detours, David. I was supposed to be a motivational speaker. In fact, at 19 years old, I went to Dallas, Texas, to Carrollton, actually. I met Zig Ziglar, went to his home, had cookies in his home with him and the redhead. And divine detours took me into ministry instead of motivational speaking. And now at this point in my life, I have the time where I could do both if I wanted to. But I remember asking Mr. Ziegler, I said, other than the best-selling books that you've written, and by the way, I know that you've also written best-selling books, David. I did mention it in the intro, trust me. I asked Mr. Ziegler, what is the best book you've ever read? And he said, other than the Bible, it would have to be Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So Napoleon Hill was the man. How did you become chairman?
Well, for me, I think living by the principles and learning about them and speaking about Think and Grow Rich, being in the movie and the book itself, the legacy book, brought a little elevated branding to me. And then as my community grew and my leadership qualities developed, my mentor, Bob Proctor, was a big part of the Napoleon Hill Foundation and Institute. He was a close mentor of me and Cleona O'Hara, the founder of the Institute. And I think a lot of those factors contributed for the nomination and the appointment as chairman of the Napoleon Hill Institute. I will tell you, anyone out there that has read Think and Grow Rich, you need to read Outwitting the Devil. It is, for me, the greatest book. I used to tell him, like Zig Ziglar and Dennis Waitley and Tony Robbins and Mark Cuban and all the amazing people will tell you Think and Grow Rich is their favorite book. There's one book better besides the Bible, is definitely better, and it's Outwitting the Devil. If you haven't read it, make sure you get it, audiobook written, go get Outwitting the Devil.
If people want to join your movement and some of the things that you're doing, how can they do that?
Well, first, I'd like to offer everyone in your community my book, and Connected to Goodness. Anybody that wants to manifest or materialize what they want in their lives, just email me. That's the best way to contact me, david@dmeltzer.com. I will sign my book. I will send it to you. I'll pay for shipping and the book. So not one of those people, a free book, but it's $20 to ship it. No, everything's free if it's me. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com, MELTZER, like on the license plate right behind me. So please, for anyone in this blessed community, reach out if you need help. If you want to work with me, david@dmeltzer.com.
Okay, well, then you've got to sign my copy that I already have. I want to get to this. I read where you lost, and I had to read it 3 or 4 times to make sure I was reading it right. You lost over $100 million, and instead of going crazy, you went up in some kind of way, got the money back. I want to ask you that question, but I'm going to ask you when we come back. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after this. I hope you're enjoying this interview with David Meltzer. What a great man. How can you lose $120 million and not go crazy? Not only did he not go crazy, he went up and got the money back. Listen, I want you to join with me in the fight against homelessness in Los Angeles. America is the wealthiest nation on earth, and Los Angeles is the city of angels, and it is known for its opportunity and for its promise. Yet, it is also the homeless capital of the world. Renowned architect Norberto Nardi and I are taking action. Together, we're building beautiful, fire-resistant tiny homes that offer more than just shelter. They provide hope, dignity, and a fresh start for those in need. Our Tiny Homes Project is a life-changing solution, transforming lives one home at a time. For just $25,000, we can build a tiny home for someone that is in need. You can sponsor a full home, or you can donate towards partially sponsoring a home. Whatever your donation is, please remember that your donation is tax deductible. Take a look at the tinyhomesproject.com. Help us in our project. This is Habitat for Humanity, but Habitat for the Homeless. We want to do for the homeless what President Jimmy Carter did for Habitat for Humanity. So just say that. Say that with me. Habitat for the Homeless. TheTinyHomesProject.com. Any donation would be a great help to helping change the lives of people who are sleeping outside in the cold. Now, let's get back to this podcast. So thank you for joining us. We are interviewing David Meltzer, famous man, one of the most positive guys on the planet, doing a lot of good in the world. And we're honored to have him on Yes We Can podcast with Bishop Sherman D.Manning. So before we left, I was asking you, Mr. Meltzer, to tell us how you, first of all, how did you gain $100 million? And then how did you lose it? And how did you make a comeback from that?
I made it out of definite purpose. I wanted to buy my mom a house and a car. The only thing that created interference or unhappiness in my life was financial stress. Mm-hmm. And growing up so poor, I thought if I could make a lot of money, that I'd be able to have a life full of only happiness and joy. I thought money would buy me love and happiness. So I made my mission commissions. And I was really good at it. 9 months out of law school, made my first million. 1992, 1995, we exited our Thomson Reuters, bought West Publishing.
Okay, but one moment, if I may back up. How did you make your first million? Because trust me, there's some people watching. The chief of police, LAPD chief, Jim McDonald, personal friend of mine, he's watching. But I've also got a lot of people in the hood. I got them from the hills to the hood who are watching. So people are going to want to know, how did you make your first $1 million? Doing what exactly?
I sold legal research online. So I decided after law school not to be an oil and gas litigator because that only paid 150 grand plus bonus. I took a job in sales because it was unlimited in what I could do. Mm-hmm. And so I sold legal research online to make my first $1 million in 9 months out of law school. I worked every single day, 7 days a week. And I remember when I was in law school, my oldest brother passed away. He was a doctor. I was crying on my bed, and I had $100,000 of law loans. I was going to lose my grants and loans because of my financial situation. And I prayed to God. I said, if you allow me to pay off my law loans and buy my mom a house and a car, I will shovel, excuse my language, I will shovel shit with my hands 6 days a week, 12 hours a day in gratitude. If you, God, allow me to do that. And I took that desire that I must be what I can be, commission based, by the way. My mission was commissions, and I put it to sales, and I didn't waste a moment. I was focused with a definite purpose of making a lot of money. And like I was about to say, even worse or better than the first million was, 3 years after I graduated, we had an exit of $3.4 billion. And that set me on a different direction. And I had a lot of lessons to learn. But through that exit, I was able to exponentially grow my wealth by being a Silicon Valley venture capital person in middleware. And then at 1999 to 31, running Samsung's data division. And then eventually, because of my venture and technology background, I ran the most notable sports agency in the world, Lee Steinberg Sports and Entertainment. They made the movie Jerry Maguire about Lee and the firm, and Warren Moon and I started a global sports marketing company. And here we are today, after losing it all, making it all back.
Wow. And I never would have thought when I was watching the Jerry Maguire movie that I would actually have Jerry Maguire, the inspiration here on Alive with me. That is absolutely amazing. So how did you lose the money, and then how did you regain it?
Well, I lost it through arrogance, and I regained it through humility. So I didn't ask anybody for help. And my mom had this beautiful quote: "You're either humble or you're about to be." I went from being a victim as a young boy, everything happening to me because I was poor, to a man who lived in a world of buying things I didn't need to impress people I didn't like. Everything in my life, I was charitable, but it was a negotiation. It was a trade. I would give to receive. I didn't want an acknowledgement or something in return. And until I was humbled as my mom said. And thank goodness for my mom and my wife, because they became the truth that I needed in order to live my life in the right direction, to become what I could be, and to utilize my desire once again to be what I could be. And I started to live with those values of gratitude and forgiveness, accountability and inspiration, and every day progressing towards where I am today. So I lost everything because I had no humility left. I thought I thought I knew what I didn't know, and I wasn't going to admit to anyone that I didn't know what I didn't know. So I didn't ask for help. And thank goodness I had the mom and the wife that I had that set me straight and had the patience and forgiveness to allow me to learn the lessons necessary. So no longer is David Meltzer commission based. My mission is not commission. My mission is to empower over 1 billion people to be happy, and the commissions follow.
Wow. Hate to put you on the spot, but you may have heard of Michael Jackson's lawyer, Tom Mesereau, arguably one of the best criminal lawyers in the world. I actually had him to come to Yes We Can Worship Center in South Central, and he gave a legal clinic for poor people over there, and they were all fascinated by Tom Mesereau. He remains a personal friend of mine today. I want to ask you, would you consider in the future coming to our church and inspiring our people with your story and helping them to sort of pull themselves up by their own bootstraps?
You don't put me on the spot because I'm going to be there, and
Okay.
we'll just got to get the right date. There
Yes,
would
of
be
course.
nothing that would bring me more joy than to speak my truth and hopefully inspire other people to live theirs. And if it's my journey that helps to do that, I will bring books for everyone as well, my friend. And please,
You read my mind. Okay, you read my
invitation
mind.
invitation accepted. Let's plan on it.
Thank you. Norberto Nardi is a very renowned architect, and we've partnered together. We are building tiny homes project here in Los Angeles. I'm from Atlanta, for the homeless. And one of the things we're going to do with this project is transformational housing. I meet people every day who work 8-hour jobs and sleep in tents because there's something broken in their lives. Not all of them are addicted to drugs. Not all of them are lazy. Not all of them are crazy or have mental problems, I should say. But there are some who just don't have the money or the strategy to get out of poverty. So one of the things we're going to do at the Tiny Homes Project is every person, the first project will be 30 homes. We're going to have each of these people in classes every day, learning job skills. And I want to use some of Napoleon Hill's stuff to teach people how to transform their lives. And I hope you can help us in that journey. I'd love to have, there'll be 30 people in the first set of housing that we build. I hope all of them can get a copy of your book because I think it'll make a difference. And if nothing else comes out of this divine connection to you, I think a lot of lives can be changed with your story. And I hope you will join us in that journey.
I love that journey, and I would love to help and maybe even coordinate having one of my VIP dinners and raise some money for an extra house that's full of the books. So we definitely need to coordinate, collaborate in conjunction with the wisdom that we all share, from Napoleon Hill to David Meltzer to yourself, but also with the faith. And I want to remind everybody, when you believe there's something bigger than you, an omniscient, all powerful, all knowing, infinite, abundant, unified system of more than enough, and remember, and recollect that it is something bigger than you that loves you more than your mom, you will be protected, promoted, loved, and perfected. All of your detours will be divine, and everything that you desire will come in its divine time. And I appreciate the time that we spent here today. I look forward to coming to the church. I look forward to helping to support the Tiny Homes Project. And of course, from Napoleon Hill to Connected to Goodness, we will provide as much inspiration as we can and support in your great efforts. God bless you.
Thank you for joining me. And I will tell you that we should just do a library at the Tiny Homes Project. And I know you don't need name recognition. You're over that, but it could be the Meltzer Library. We'll put all your books in there and others that you think are positive and that will help people. I want to thank you for joining me for this time, and let's get together. And ladies and gentlemen, please remember that you can make a difference and we can change this world. We can do it together. Yes, we can.